You have to raise the monies for doing IDs, you have to raise monies for marriages, and we are in an environment where some of these things are taken literally like that, and the social media moves too quickly and very fast ahead of most of the things that we do. And they exaggerate these things, and the exaggerated bits that the public gets to understand. It's the exaggerated bits that get to the public, get to the citizenry. So we really need to think that those segments of the government that instead of brewing up, instead of cooking things properly and making sure that at the end the product is ready to be eaten by the public, don't need to release information too quickly that's confusing the public. That's one thing that I wanted to bring, Madam Speaker, that is critical. The other bit that I wanted to bring, Madam Speaker, is the support that we are extending to the counties. It is indicated in the speech. It is indicated in the budget. It is indicated in the things that we have done here. But we need to look at these things again, because they are going to be a problem in future. We are talking about public health promoters. The national government is committing 2,500 to each one of them, and is supposed to be matched by a county government. What if a county government fails to match that? And when is this thing going to be happening? We are talking about industrial parks. The county governments are supposed to match 250 million. What if they fail to do it? We are talking about the markets. The national government is going to support a number of markets. For example, in my county, there are like 5 markets that the national government is going to place money. But the markets are supposed to be done, or are supposed to be left with the county government. How will they do it? So I think there are things that the government really needs to start looking at afresh. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem to this country later on. That the national government will pay, there will be no matching money from the side of the county government. And in the end, the national government is going to be blamed. You know, the county government has people. They are closer to the people. When you release your 2,500 and they fail, they'll say that it is yours that failed. And they'll get to the communities much more quickly than the national government. I think the government needs to look at this very, very seriously and afresh. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Hilary Kosgei, member for Kipkelion West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to add my voice to the President's speech. And I want to begin, Madam Speaker, by saying that during the Great Depression of the 1930s, the American people were faced by serious economic times. And the then President Franklin Roosevelt came out with a speech to calm an anxious nation, Madam Speaker. And he said that our values have shrunken to fantastic levels, our taxes have fallen, our taxes have risen, our ability to pay has fallen. Government finds itself with serious curtailment of income, and the means of exchange is frozen in all fronts and areas of trade. And he finally told them, Madam Speaker, that the American people had nothing to fear but fear itself. And what did the American public respond to the speech of their president, Madam Speaker? They realized the enormous task that the president had and decided to rally to a man to the efforts of the president to remove America out of the Great Depression. Madam Speaker, the situation in this country is not unique. Madam Speaker, Kenyans must be reminded that the Kenya Kwanza administration took over government when the economy was in ICU. And Madam Speaker, the president, being the surgeon that he is, started work immediately to help to remove the economy out of the ICU all the way to the HDU, and is now stabilizing it in the wards, Madam Speaker. And he started, Madam Speaker, by suspending our free and excess spending by cutting it by 300, the first supplementary by 300 billion. He also started by moving the country away from subsidizing consumption towards subsidizing production. And that is where you see successes, Madam Speaker, in the areas of agriculture, where we subsidized fertilizer to 2,500 shillings, and the farmers of Kenya went to their farms and produced for this country 200